And we're going to get going. We have 14 people. So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope everybody is well and enjoying the sun's finally out. All right, so today's going to be quick and to the point. It's more of like a housekeeping meeting. I know we haven't met in a couple of weeks, but it's just more just to make sure everybody's on the same page. I'm hearing a lot of complaints, not just from you guys, but from other agents about, from other offices in our company about agents and, how horrible they are. People aren't letting us into properties. You have to sign 1,000 forms just to show a property, all of that. So, unfortunately with COVID, some companies are taking some more extremes and they're requiring not just the COVID disclosure, but a questionnaire and a pre-approval. So whatever they're asking for, give it to them. That's it. Just give it to them. To quote Dan Ryan, the pain is in the resistance. He used to say that to us all the time when we would, when we get, well, they want this and that and the other thing, and this is ridiculous. And you know what? If it's what they're asking for, just give it to them. Why fight it? You're going to spend all this time fighting, and it's going to take you longer to fight it than to actually just send them what they're looking for. All right. So, but the thing is that they must have it in writing from the homeowner. It must be attached to the listing. So if you're looking at a listing, I'm going to throw Signature out there. They seem to be the biggest proponents of this right now. Is if you look at their listings where you normally see the attachments at the top where you'd find like the lead paint disclosure, you'll see it says COVID disclosure or COVID questionnaire. So if there's anything from the homeowner, they actually already have, Signature already has a pre-printed form and it's checked off, I as the seller, blah, 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 want the COVID disclosure, this, and a pre-approval before anyone can show my property. All right. So you do have the right to see it in writing, but quite honestly, it's so hard to get into properties as it is. By the time you spend this time fighting it, they'll probably have sold the property anyway. Just give them what they want. All right. So, I've been showing some buyers around. I've had a lot of referrals come out of the woodwork lately, thank God. So what I just do is we have the COVID disclosure in our buyer loop already. Even though we don't require it, I know everybody out there is. So when I send my buyers the paperwork to get signed up front, I'm sending them the agency form, the fair housing form, and the COVID disclosure, just so I have it at the ready. Somebody says, all right, send me over a COVID disclosure, boom, you got it all. And you can send it right through dotloop, okay? So it's nice and easy. So, just unfortunately, life is tough right now, but you can't blame sellers if they want to be a little bit more choosy about having people walk through their properties. Okay. Paperwork. A lot of today's conversation is about paperwork. Make sure you have it. Make sure it's filled out properly. Okay. Now, when you're taking a listing, it goes without saying, I know we're so excited about getting the listing, getting them to sign that sometimes we go through it really quickly, but make sure you're explaining the paperwork to your seller. We had an instance recently where the seller claimed that we didn't disclose the full commission and he thought he was paying like almost half of what he should have been paying. All right. We had a signature, and this is where dotloop comes in. You need to have your paperwork in dotloop because in this instance, the agent was away the day of the closing. Okay. I had to go because the seller was trying to, dispute the commission. Luckily, that agent had everything in dotloop. So when I showed up at that closing and had that conversation with the seller, I was able to say, did you sign this form? Is this your signature? Yes, it was his signature. All right. So I had that. If you're away, it's summertime, even though we don't go too far, maybe you're just going for a long weekend out to Montauk or, throw Bill under the bus. He's in Pennsylvania this week. So if he had something going on, a closing, and I needed to jump in to try to save your commission, I need to have that paperwork. All right. So just do it at the beginning. You start with the buyer, start filling out the paperwork right in dotloop. If you're not comfortable using dotloop, which I know some aren't, fill it out and bring it into the office. We'll scan it right into the loop for you. That works just as well. Okay. The very least, when you start working with somebody, you should be starting a loop. Okay. And then bring us the paperwork. all right? But the important thing is the paperwork needs to be in there. You need to go over it with both your buyers, your sellers, your renters, whoever it is, or landlords. Make sure you're going over it. The key things, commission is a key thing. Listing dates are key. Price obviously is key. And now with the new listing forms, there's an extra initial forms right by the commission and the price. So it's going to make it a little harder for a seller to say, oh, well, you didn't explain that to me. Their signature's at the bottom of the page and the initial is next to that section. It's going to make it a lot harder for them to fight it. Okay. So what do we always say? Paperwork's never a problem until there's a problem, right? And that's the first thing anyone's going to look at. Okay. So, you know, I've had agents come to me and they're like, oh, well, I think I got screwed on this, blah, blah, blah. Let me see your paperwork. Any agent that's had a problem knows that's the first thing I ask for. Let me see your agency. Because if you get taken to an arbitration, that's the first thing they're going to look at. And if there's any holes in your paperwork, we're screwed. All right. You're going to lose. All right. So I'm a stickler when it comes to paperwork. I will admit with this whole pandemic thing, I definitely let things slip. But in the next coming weeks, I am going to be following up and checking everybody's loops and making sure all paperwork is up to date. Okay. So if I reach out to you and I say I don't have something and you're like, oh, well, I sent it in. It's quite possible you did. I have 85,000 emails in my inbox right now. So there's a good chance you sent me something 3 months ago that I can't find right now. So I apologize. That's my lack of organization. But I'm going to make sure I have all of your paperwork in the coming weeks. So are we good with that? Everybody understand why I'm saying this? We're all on the same page. Okay. It's for your protection. You think I want to be, you know, the crazy lady about the paper? No, I have better things to do. You have better things to do. All right. But it's for your protection. All right. And this instance that happened, you know, the past couple of weeks was the perfect scenario, which is why I bring it up as a reminder for everybody else. Every once in a while, we need to be reminded. I find myself, you know, you get into habits, you get into routines or whatever, and some things fall through the cracks. So every once in a while, we have to be reminded about good habits. Paperwork is the best habit that you can have. Okay. Make sure it's filled out completely. Send it to me to check. If you're not sure about your paperwork, there's a little button in the upper right-hand corner of .loop that says submit for review. Don't share paperwork with me. Don't share it. Submit for review. Okay. And that's how I know whether you have a deal that's in contract or you're getting a new listing and you need to check it. Okay. I'm not muting you guys. So whoever's got a dog that's barking, please just mute yourself. Okay.
It's Oliver.
Oliver. Okay, well, tell Oliver to be quiet or mute yourself.
He doesn't listen very well. Ollie, cut it out.
Okay. Okay, so another reason why I say this goes back to the whole thing with everybody complaining about, you know, all the agents and out there and how everybody's unprofessional. You be better than them. I tell you guys all this time, 1,000 times a day, right? You are better than 99% of your competition out there just because of the training that you get and that you're professional, all right? Don't let it slip because everybody else out there is horrible. Maintain the professionalism, okay? Make sure your paperwork is right. Make sure you're following the rules. And if you have any questions, that's what I'm here for, okay? So let's not be part of the problem. Let's be part of the solution, all right? We want to be the examples of what they should be doing, all right? So that was, I think, you guys got the message, paperwork, right? That's paperwork, professionalism, all goes hand in hand, right? Okay. That's the gist of today's meetings. Along with that, I just ask that you guys check your emails. You know, once every Monday, I send out an email asking about new deals, any closings that are coming up. You know, it helps me to give, I have to report to Tom, Mike, and Deb every week and let them know what's going on. And they'll ask, what do you have as far as closings go? And a lot of times I don't have an answer for them. Like, well, I'll find out as you're walking in with the check, oh, I had a closing. So if you know of a closing that's coming up, if you could let me know, I'd appreciate it. Right now, I have to say Sandy's the only one that ever responds to my Monday email. So thank you, Sandy. So, I mean, I see a lot of you in person, so that counts as well. But for the, you know, that's maybe 2-3 people. So the 57 others of you that don't respond to my email, if you could just give me a quick, even if it's nothing, I didn't do anything this week, that's fine. All right, but if you have anything going on, please let me know. What's the other? Oh, another thing. I had an agent complain that I wasn't calling them back. Okay, I'm a little old school in the fact that if you call me, you don't leave a message, I'm going to assume it's not that important. All right, and I get hundreds of calls a day. All right, so if you really need me, you know I will respond to you, but you either have to leave me a voicemail letting me know you need me to call you back, or send me a text. Okay, so every now and then I had someone complain to me. They're like, "You never called me back," and I'm like, "I didn't get a message from you." So I'm sorry, I'm a little old school that way. Some people think, I saw a missed call. Well, I have a lot of missed calls, so I don't always, and you know how the phone is. You look at it and it scrolls. It might get buried. So just, send me a quick text. Can you call me? And I will be happy to do so. All right. I told you this was a housekeeping meeting, right? So I have my whole little list here. Office update. So numbers. You guys all got the agenda so far. I mean, now it's the second week of the month. We haven't really taken any new listings. Elizabeth listed a property in West Hempstead. We did get 3 rentals, but we have no new listings. So you guys got a prospect. Let's get out there and prospect. Let's not, get complacent about that, because we have a big gap to fill up. So I don't know if you saw that. The remainder to goal is still over $1 million. All right, we've closed about 638,000 so far, which isn't bad, but we're definitely behind. Our under contracts are great, so thank you to all of you that keep giving me deals. Yay! I know you're all working hard. Right now, I mean, as of yesterday, we had 12 contracts that I knew about for August, so that's a little over 100,000, which is great. So we still have, a little over 2 weeks left, and we have a little over 2 weeks left, so we could probably get that number over 200, which we really need. So, and then what you're working on now is what's going to close in November, late October, early November. So we really only have another month and a half of 2020 business. Remember that. So we really have to, right now things are busy, so you really have to, keep pushing. All right. You could take a break in December. I'll let you take a break in December. Okay. It quiets down then. A little break, not a big one. But, we really need to push right now. All right. Because it's going to be tough to make our goal. I'm going to say that, but I really want to get as close as possible. Are you guys on board with me on that?
Would be nice.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. And the last thing I had to talk about was real satisfied surveys. One of the other things I have to start following up is on the real satisfied surveys. When you guys close something, or you give me a deal sheet, make sure either your buyer or your seller, or if you have both sides, the email address for the client is on there. This way, Real Satisfied can automatically send them out a survey. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to do 8 deals. I'm not going to get an award. It does matter. It matters for the office. This has been a quality service pinnacle office every year I've been here, okay? And I want to keep that up. And the way we do that is the office as a whole needs to get a certain number of awards and needs to get a certain percentage of satisfaction, okay? So, and we've been able to do that, and there's no reason why we can't. So even if you're a person who does 1, 2 deals, those surveys do matter to the office, all right? So I'm going to be reviewing those shortly. Now, for you as a on a personal level, should care about those, because once you get a testimonial back, if you have a Real Satisfied that goes out, they send you a testimonial back. You can share that on social media. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it on Realtor.com. And don't think those things don't matter. Lily's last listing came because somebody Googled her and found her on Realtor.com, all right? All of these things, by posting these testimonials, they help you search engine optimization. So somebody Googles Franklin Square Real Estate or Valley Stream Real Estate or Elmont Real Estate, it's going to help you to come up towards the top. Okay, so these things all matter. So we need to get, as much good publicity out there as possible. And what better way than to promote a testimonial that a past client has given you, right? Yes.
Lori, on Real Satisfied, are they up to date now? I know there was a while back where they were so far behind that our surveys didn't go out to clients for months, and then they just forgot about them.
I don't think Real Satisfied was ever behind. It was only, it won't go out if there's no email address, because those are automatic.
Well, you know Connie and I give you that.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if Connie, I think Connie's on the phone right now. Connie, come on in on this conversation if you're here. I see her name up, but we'd had a problem with several of them. And we always had the emails and we always checked them. And there was one in particular that we had to go back 3 times before Real Satisfied finally sent it out. And the sellers get annoyed when it comes 3 or 4 months later.
Right. No, we try to get them out as soon as it closes. It should go out within 24, 48 hours. So, and I know it's working right now because I just had 2 get bounced back for bad email addresses. So
Okay.
I know it's definitely working now. I remember, had a specific issue, and the seller was claiming they didn't get it, and we saw that it kept
Right.
going. But what happens a lot of times, well, you have to make sure they know it's coming from Real Satisfied. It doesn't say it's Century 21.
Oh, I know that.
All right, and it could come, it could wind up in their spam. A lot of times it does, you know. So with the name Real Satisfied, you know, people may look at it and think it's not anything related to quality service, you know. It could relate to something else. So you have to be careful that it might wind up in their spam. So just let them know to look for it. And if they don't see it in a day or two, to let you know, we can always resend it. All right. So I'm going to be going through those, but you guys, you know, should try to ask them if they don't mind, just write a quick testimonial. It is a little confusing. I will grant that the form is a little confusing, and they think just by clicking off the numbers that that's good enough. And some people put like comments in one section, but that's not really the testimonial section. The testimonial section is at the very bottom. It's the you know, the bottom section. So make sure they understand that. All right, because that's what's going to be able for you to feed into social media. It feeds to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, I believe. All right, those 3. And then from there, you could copy and paste it into Realtor.com, Zillow, whatever other sites that you use. All right. Oh, which brings me to my last point is the company is investing in a new tech stack. So what that means is that all the issues we're having with our websites where, I mean, the exclusives aren't an issue anymore because you can't take exclusives. But commercial properties and rentals not being able to feed to our websites, that's going to be gone with this new tech stack. So stay tuned. There's going to be a new system that's coming. The company's investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into this. It's going to replace Zap, the Zap system that doesn't work. It's going to replace Business Builder, which is okay, but it's a little antiquated. This system, you'll also be able to set up a CRM that creates a follow-up plan with your clients, and you'll be able to text from it as well. That's one of the downfalls to Business Builder right now is you can't use the text function. And we know, you know, right now that's where most people are doing a lot of their communicating. All right. So they're planning on a rollout about October 1st, give or take. So I know it's going to be one more system we have to learn, but trust me, it's going to be so worth it. All right. It's going to hopefully be a set it and forget it kind of system. You put all your contacts in, you set them up on a plan, and it's going to do all the things that Zap was supposed to do, but never did. Okay. So I think it's going to be a really good thing. All right. So what do you guys have for me? Anything? What's on your minds?
Oh, I'd like to say kudos to my partner, Connie. She took a listing about 2 weeks ago. She had it listed and in contract in less than a week, like 3 days. So she did a really great job on that. I had nothing to do with it. I haven't even seen the house.
She's been a machine, Connie, I have to say. Well, both of you have. You're working behind the scenes. You're still doing your part.
She keeps telling me I owe her big time because she's been out in the field and I haven't.
Yeah, step it up then.
Yep. But that's what makes you guys a good team.
Yeah, three days from listing to contract. I think that was a record.
Yeah, but it was a little slower than the one before, because the one before, she literally hit send and got a call like within a minute and had it sold.
She's been out there.
Yep.
She's not responding, and there's a little red thing on her name here, so I don't know if she's on this call or not.
She's the iPhone, right? She's the iPhone?
She's muted.
Oh, Connie's muted, that's why. I could unmute her. No, it's not letting me unmute her. All right. Josephine, you said you look like you had something to say?
Yeah. If anybody has any buyers that are like high 300s, I have something very affordable in Hempstead with Uniondale Schools. And I'm going to be there tomorrow from 12 to 2. It's a condo. It's a 3-bedroom townhouse with a full finished basement at 680 Front Street. It's really nice. It's $379. Taxes are $6,500, and the common charges are like $300 something a month. So it's very affordable.
Mhm.
So if anybody wants to come or send a buyer, I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, great.
I'm still looking for something in Lynbrook. If anybody knows of anything coming up to 700,000, 3 bedrooms, more than 1 bath, no split levels, very, very well qualified buyers. They have a wish list, but I think for 700, they'll find their wish list. I just have to find the listing. They've already been bumped out of 3 houses.
Yeah, Lynbrook's tight right now, very
Oh my
tight.
God.
Mhm.
There was one house that was listed at $690. I can't believe this. It was listed at $699. They put in a $720 offer. The seller accepted $760.
Mhm.
It was outrageous.
Yep.
So, if anybody knows anything that's coming up in Lynbrook, I really need this.
Prices keep going like that, I might put my house up. Stay tuned.
I'll help you.
Yeah. Carrie, what do you got?
You said that the COVID form was on .loop.
Yeah, it's in the buyer loops. So you'll see it comes up as one of the first forms in the loop. Or you could just search COVID and it's just the plain COVID. It's a generic COVID disclosure. That's all it is.
Okay, I'm on .loop now. I don't see it, but I'll keep trying.
All right, let me see if I can, hold on one second. Let me see if I can share my screen and show you. So I'm in templates right now. Let's see if I just search COVID. Yep, right here, COVID, New York, where the heck did it go? You all just saw that, right? Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Oh, all right, well, that's good. Would help if I shared my screen. Let me try that. Share screen. Share. There we go. All right, let's go back to here is,
My screen just disappeared.
I'm running out of time. Oh, right here. So I went into templates, I hit COVID, and it's right here, COVID phase 2 New York disclosure. Do you see that?
I see it on your screen, yes.
Okay. So all I did was I went into templates and I searched, and this is what it looks like. All right. So if you go into a buyer loop, it has to be a new buyer loop. Then, because if you had a buyer already set up before we put them in, then it may not be in there.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not seeing it in there separate.
Is it also on the intranet?
You know what? I don't think so. I don't, because they've been trying to avoid putting stuff on the internet and putting it directly into .loop as a way to force you guys to use .loop. So, but it's definitely, if you can't find it, let me know and I can email it to you.
Will you please email it?
Absolutely.
Thank
I'll
you.
send it to you. Okay. So you guys have anything else for me? No?
No.
Let's recap. What was this meeting about? Paperwork, professionalism, numbers. Go do some business, please. Okay? And do it professionally. And make sure you give me paperwork. There you go.
And you're in the office.
All right? Brian, mute yourself. We can all hear your conversation.
What did I say?
All right. So that's all I have. And Josephine went over her open house. Oh, quick update on the office. We're still, you still have to come in the front door because they haven't fixed those back wires yet. So it looks like the truck came twice, and then twice as the guy was up on the pole, the thunder rolled in and he got down and left. So the weather has been against him. So it looked like he tried to fix the poles a couple of times, the wires, but we've been unsuccessful. So for the time being, please just come in the front. The other thing is I am looking into getting new locks for both the front and the back so that we can access the front from outside, because that is a downfall right now. So I will keep you posted on that. Now that's really all I had. So, all right, guys. So go have a great weekend, and I'm here if you need anything. Okay.
Take
Hey,
care.
thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
All right,
stay
guys.
healthy,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
You.
Stay healthy.